Matt, it's great to see you again. It's been quite a while, and we always appreciate here from Atlantic Canada you having us on to be interviewed, and thank you.
Well, it's good to see you as well. Now, you put out a bit of news earlier in September. I kind of missed it. I was in Beaver Creek as you were, and then down at Colorado Springs. Tell us about the news from you over at Silver Tigre. What do we need to know?
You know, I want to reflect back a little bit before we get into the MRE. It was wonderful, 176 million silver equivalent ounces in the indicated and inferred. We'll unbolt that a little bit. But, you know, you like to look back when you get to this point and kind of know you've won. And it's not we've won because people could say, okay, you put $4 billion worth of silver on the books. Yeah, it's still in the ground. This has always been from day one when we've talked about the first drill hole is to build a business. And my business plan comes out in the next week or two. That's my PEA. I think when people see that, and we'll talk about it a little more in a minute, they'll fully understand what this project is. But let's look back a little bit. 8 years. Over 4 years ago, I started talking to you. And I'm the entrepreneur in the business. The business is now a development company on the way to production. So things will change a little bit. Now there'll be a lot more conversation about, and we'll talk about those people who are going to build this mine, the next very profitable silver mine in the world. I had to wave my arms, and every drill hole was the best. And sometimes people cared, and sometimes they didn't. But you know what, Matt? In 8 years, it got us $91 million. So we could be here today. $75 million bought from all the top institutions in the world in the last 3 years. 21 left of that in the bank. I'll tell you kind of as we talk about where that goes as we go towards pre-fees early in 2024. But what we're really proud of is 61.5 on the financial statements are right into the ground in exploration. Paid another $1 million for a portion of this purchase of the asset, which is going to look very good when that NAV gets revealed in our PEA. $500,000 on a mill. So over that 8 years, $8 million in G&A. Pretty proud of that. Because we wouldn't be here without that. With the runway in a very tough market, let's face it, it's tough right now. Those that are doing with money, I think are the ones going to win, and that's us. So that's where we are. If you want to talk about that MRE, I'll walk you through it.
Well, I do want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it in the context of how you're being valued now, right? So there was a kind of reaction in the marketplace, but net, you're up 3 cents from 18 to 21 where you are today, right? You put a bunch of money in the ground, and you're kind of being valued at less than the money that you put in the ground, G&A aside, right? So what is the market missing in terms of how they should look at you, how they should value you? Because your perception of what that should be is very different from what the market is telling you. So what should I look at?
Well, here's what they should look at. And no excuses on market, because the market is terrible. I could say everybody's down. I don't care about everybody. I'm counting in $100 million market cap moves. I'm almost back to my $100 million market cap. With that move, which was substantial when if you look at my peers, everybody else has gone down in the last since Beaver Creek. But notwithstanding that, we have now changed. Nobody cares about drill results. What we have now is we have real value. I wish I could talk about the PEA today. I know what it is pretty well. We're fine-tuning it. The next couple of weeks, we'll be back, and I'll have my technical team, who I'll talk about in a minute, on. But this is real value. So where I go next, no matter what this market does, $1,800 gold and $22, $23 silver, that's beautiful for people that are going to take it out of the ground, and we're going to take it out of the ground. So that being said, think of it this way. When you see that PEA, go look at the financial summary. It'll be right in the press release. We'll make it crystal clear for everybody to see on this 200 or 300 page report. Go to the NAV and multiply it by 0.3 in a terrible market. That's where we're going to gravitate to, no matter what the market does. When the market sees that, that's where we go. So multiply that by the value. 0.4 in a good market. I don't think we're going to have one for a while. That's just my opinion. Don't want to pee in anybody's parade. But from my perspective, 0.3, look at our market cap today and look at what that will be. That's the next trade on Silver Tigre, and it can't be stopped.
A lot of people came away from Beaver Creek thinking it would solve their problems, and it definitely hasn't. So yeah, you bucked the trend there. But it's kind of, I also need you to help investors, not just shareholders who are, they're bought into this thing, they're drinking the Kool-Aid, it's all kind of good. But people looking in precious metal companies like yours and saying, well, look, you've spent more money than you're being valued at. So the market's telling you haven't spent money wisely, potentially, right? Potentially, that's what they're thinking. And you go, well, actually, no, I've got a PEA coming out in the next couple of weeks, and we can look at the economics, and it'll show you that this is a very robust company. You're still going to have to go and raise capital, right, in a market which is saying we don't value you, to be able to move it through the next phases. Do you think you're going to be able to attract the capital to do that?
So let's look at where we are with capital. Everybody who's in this game better know that what is it, 1.1 of 1% get to production? How many get an economic PEA out there? Go do the homework, guys. In our mind, we've already won. We're not an exploration company anymore. We're a development company. Just got to wait for the piece of paper in a couple of weeks. We're also moving very quickly to production. So that $91 million, 21 still left. So I'm over my market cap's actually over what I've spent so far. I got a little bit in the bank. Remember that. Real good time to have money in the bank. I wouldn't want to have to go raise right now. That's why we took that bot deal led by BMO in February that people saw. And people said, oh, the valuation's low. Oh, no. I bet you everybody would take that now if they had the chance. That being said, 21 left. PEA coming, bought and paid for. 125,000 meters of drilling done. $4 billion. I'm using a crazy comparison here of silver in the ground. 176 million silver equivalent announced on the book. Guys, that's a start. That's a line in the sand. That's not we've drilled everything off. That's what we had today. We'll be drilling this for the next 20 years. So stay tuned for more, but enough already. That being said, now Golder's in there. All the drilling is being done on the mountain to move this to pre-fees by the end of March 2024. Call that $6 million. Still got 10, 12, 13 left in the bank still when that happens to do the rest of it, to put towards more work, and expecting maybe I'm going to get my first VAT tax back, $3 million US in the next little while, sitting in a very beautiful position, all bought and paid for. So this is the money that's required to get to here. The problem that most have, they never get enough runway to get to here. It's $25,000 meters worth of drilling. Oh, the market fizzled out. Well, that's over. And your 65-cent investment, I'm not being critical of peers, went to zero. That never was going to happen with us. We always knew we'd be here, and now we're here. So very exciting times ahead. Look at the financial information. That's the real value, and that will tell you what we will gravitate to as a market cap.
We will when it comes out.
But back to money. I got to finish this.
Back to money. Yeah, exactly.
Back to money. So I've explained it. End of March, I'm going to have 15 million US, 15 million Canadian still in the bank. That's on my budget I have now. Everything done. Pre-fees. We will build this. The first stage you'll see in that PA on pre-fees. So that's it. We're ready to go. Right there, we'll start. I'm going to talk about people in a minute. So I expect and feel very comfortable, and you can rest assured I'm saying that I've already had some conversations, that the rest of the money to build the first part of Tigre, the mine, will be non-dilutive.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So you're saying you're going to build this on pre-fees. So obviously missing out feasibility, definitive feasibility stage. What gives you the confidence that you can do it off the back of pre-fees? Because that seems awfully eager and maybe rushing headlong into some technical issues.
We think that, and now we're getting into technicals. The first two, listen, many of these get financed on the first 2 years, okay? And the track record of the mining that's been done here, the robustness of this PEA that I know what's coming, I mean robust, and the fact that we're going to have the first 2 years of ore measured and indicated and all the work done, we're very comfortable we're going to be able to get to that point to get it done. Can't guarantee it, but that's the plan.
Is this heap leach?
Heap leach and underground.
Okay. But you're going to start off with the heap leach. Right, and that kind of gets what money flowing. So how... Well, you can't say so next week. I know, damn it. Right, well, we have to have a conversation in 2 weeks time about how that looks like. Okay, but you're not slowing down despite the economy. You raised money. You did get a bit of grief for that when you raised the money, but I guess Absolutely. It looks like genius now. Right, so with regards to you sound awfully confident in your ability to get this off and going, because there's a lot of chat in the market about M&A and coming together and spin outs and mergers and all sorts of things like. There's at no point did you feel this is something that is slightly out of your control?
Never. Ever. We always knew, Matt, I'm sorry, I can't say it, I waved my arms for 7 years to get the 91 million. We needed that. We got us. We won. We've already won. It's just execute now. We know we're going to do it. We've been doing it, our team in Mexico, for 25 years. I'm going to talk about something. People should have got a message in August. Let me finish this part, please. This is important.
Yep.
I put a press release out that we'd hired a gentleman.
I saw.
Please go to my Verify presentation. His resume, it's 5 pages at the back. We think he's, if not the best, one of the best mine builders, open pit and underground in Mexico. We were so lucky to get him. His last decade was with Argonaut. He permitted, built, and ran Patala. Patala is a massive underground and open pit heap leach mine in Mexico. El Castillo, massive open pit heap leach, was his next one from 15 to 18. Permitted it, built it, and ran it for Argonaut. The last 5 years, he's been project manager for all of Argonaut's projects in Mexico. We were so lucky that he joined us this summer. He has the keys as VP Operations is his title, COO, whatever you want to call him in Mexico, to go forward and to do everything we need to do between today and the day that we are in commercial production at Tigre. And when you see the PEA and we can delve into it a little bit more, I'll be able to talk timing. But think of this, we should be hopefully ready to go. We will have our pre-fees done by March 31st. Now, these are strong statements. I'm just giving people timing because this is not my words. It's Francisco's words. We'll have the permit amendments we need by then. That we're confident of that. I will have gotten the money. The CapEx is very, very manageable. You'll see that in the PEA when it comes out. And then they'll go, yeah, he can do that. Not easy, but he'll be able to do that. Francisco says it's a 9-month build. Look, if I told you it was a 9-month build, people should say Jessome's full of, but that's what he said from March. Let's say it's 12 months. We hope and expect in that time frame to be a very, not small, a large producing silver mine. And the most important thing for all of us, for us in our projects, is extremely profitable. There's only a few of those in the world. We all know what they are.
Yeah, but that's a bit old-fashioned, trying to make money, eh?
Yeah, that's what we started. The first drill hole 8 years ago was to get to here. People don't understand that. Of course they do, but it's a long journey and it can't be shortened. And it was a tough market to do.
It was a very, very tough market, and raising money was hard all the way along. Exciting news from today. I hear you. It's a heads up. 2 weeks' time, you're going to come back and tell me, run me through the PEA. Maybe, hopefully bring Francisco on as well. We can maybe get into the weeds about how he sees this playing out from an operational point of view. As ever, Glenn, good to speak to you.
Always to you. And what I want to tell people now is the transition has started. The arm waving to get us to here, and I know people won't believe it, I'm going to be more quiet. Most people don't believe I'm going to do that, but I'm going to. And I will turn my attention to running and managing a very profitable business. So going forward, the conversations we have will be less with me and more with Francisco. Charles Spath was a new gentleman we announced in that same press release. A wizard on Leapfrog. We've moved all of our data to this new Leapfrog. Compare it to the first BlackBerry and an Apple 15 phone. That's how I compare it. You'll see a lot of those visuals in the next conversation. Those guys are going to lay out the plan for the next 1, 2, 3 years, and it's quite exciting. And it's nice to be able to come back on. Because, I know some of your people supported us as shareholders through the years. A lot of them didn't invest money because we really didn't raise money from except the institutions, really, since we've been talking. So there wasn't an opportunity. But they supported us to get here. So it's really nice to be able to come back, Matt, and say, we won. We know we won. And now we just have to execute development now. Exploration will continue, but it's pretty done line in the sand. Development onwards to production. In a world, I think, if everybody I listen to is right, is going to need some silver. So I'm glad I got a lot.